Hey there, welcome to NZ Money Karma, where you can find freedom from the daily grind through budgeting, simple living and adventure. It's awesome to be back to do another weekly cash stuff. I used to cash stuff every fortnight, now I'm cash stuffing every week because I'm trying to keep in control of my budget a little bit more. Things just got out of control because things just went wrong. We had an emergency fund, we've used it a lot this year, because we've been living on such a tiny amount of money. We've only been allocating ourselves, up until last week, $3,333 a month-ish. That's changing. We've decided instead of investing heavily, we used to put every single other cent that we earned into investments. Instead of doing that, we're just putting 10% into investments and then using the rest of the money to get everything back on track. Because having an emergency fund is really important. So we're doing it online for a big emergency fund where we need to keep going until we have $10,000 in that emergency fund. And I'm also just doing $1,000 cash emergency fund because little things came up this year and I was just, end up pulling from one envelope and then that leaves the next envelope short and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, as well as the big emergency fund online, in the bank, we also need a little emergency fund. So hopefully if you don't have an emergency fund, you've been following along and you think maybe that's a good idea and are trying to do some things too. The reason for the $1,000 is that's just a Dave Ramsey thing to say, first get $1,000 and then carry on paying debt. We have no debt, so that's not our issue, but I just thought $1,000 because that's what Dave Ramsey initially recommends. So I'm going to count up my money for you. And I have also spent some money, which is what this pile of receipts is all about. So let's have a look at what we've got. So this is from my wages. My husband's is going straight into the bank and being allocated there, mostly to the main emergency fund that we're trying to rebuild. So 1, 2, and rowing fees, of course. That's going to cost us about $10,000 this season. So when we made that choice, we knew that some of the money that we would normally be sending to investments is going to not be going there. It's going to be going for fees, so that's all right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 65. So $765 I've got to stuff today. Oh, I'm going to sneeze, sorry about that. No, I'm not. That's annoying, sorry. Okay, so that's the money I've got, and what have I already spent? Well, some exciting news in my life is that I'm going to be a chicken mum. We are getting some chickens. I think we've ordered 3 rescue chickens. So those are ones that are battery farmed or whatever off a commercial farm, and they're coming our way. We'll pay $30 for them, so $10 each once they arrive. But today we went and bought something that we will make into a chicken coop. It's considered gardenware. I will show you guys once I've got it all done. After this video, I'm straight out to go and paint it and get it lovely for those hens. So there'll be 3 of those, and I am going to look at getting some day-old chicks as well, just 2 of those. Also, they come from a commercial hatchery. They're the spears that they don't want. So neither is going to end up in a good place if you kind of don't put your hand up and take them. They don't breed them for people like me. They breed them for themselves, and then when they have extras, like say they want 100 females or whatever, but they get 150 females, well, they either kill them or they sell them on. So I will buy some if they have some extras, but just a couple. So $40 for the coop, $30 for a birthday present for a party my daughter's going to, which was that is a movie voucher, $30. I went out of town for a night and stayed at a hotel, and that was $109. I have been to the supermarket and I spent, it says here $205.03, but actually they put something through that didn't belong to me, and I checked it when I got through the checkout, and that was $4.50, so they refunded that. So let's say 250 cents I spent on our food shop. And this isn't something that I've spent already, but this is what, you know, it's costing because I'm going to need to buy I need to buy quite a few things to get this chicken area ready. It's not at all sorted at the moment, despite just having now housing for them. So this here is poultry fencing is $287, and some shell grit is $8. Those are two things that I'm going to order online, and that will come to $314.20. I have some other things I need to get, but I can just get them locally from Bunnings or what have you. There is a chicken supply shop here in Christchurch, but it was more expensive than ordering it online. And the fencing is slightly more expensive than if I just went and bought waratahs and chicken wire and all the rest of it, but only slightly, like $20 difference. So I've gone with the actual poultry fencing because I just think it will be a lot easier. It'll be heaps easier to move around. We're on a suburban section, so wherever we take them, wherever we move them to, we want it to be easy to move the fence. So I thought that was a better way forward. Now, I don't know if I've just become a complete cheapskate because I'm not used to spending much money or what, but I felt very uncomfortable when I saw that, $314.20, $40 for the coop, win. I felt all right about that. You know, $20 or $30 for wood shavings, yeah, that was all right. Some food, none of that felt terrible. That will be probably about, I don't know, $120 or something for that stuff. That felt all right. $314, the most part being a fence, felt eek. So I was like, oh, I'm filled with uncomfortable feelings. Why is this? And yeah, my husband says it's because I'm a tightwad. I thought maybe it's because I'm out of practice of spending money. So what I'm going to do today, so I need $314, and this challenge here gives me $330 apparently. So I am going to go through and just see how much do I have left in this. So 5, 10, 15, what did I say? 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. So I've got $24 left on that line. And what have I got here? 6, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25, 30. So if I put in $60, I will finish this challenge, and then I will have $330 to spend on my chickens, and I haven't, you know, kind of taken money away from the family or from the emergency fund that I'm trying to rebuild, because outside of this last $60, this has just been my change jar. So for the whole year, every time I get some money in coinage, it goes in here. And I add it up at the back. Sometimes I don't have enough to kind of cross off an amount, but I will just add, you know, 30 cents, and then the next time I have something, it might be 70 cents, so then I have $1, and I'll go, oh, can I knock off $1? Yep, cool, done. So this is really just the change, and I've loved doing a change challenge because once it goes in here, I don't ever think about taking it out. If I take this same money and just put it in a jar, whenever I need something, I will just go, oh look, there's all this coinage, let me just take that. So having a challenge is very, very good for me. But there's no point having a challenge just for no reason. So now I found a reason. This challenge is going to be all about my chooks. So I'm going to have a look and just see if I've got any more coinage in there, because my husband has been out and about and he puts the coins back in. And otherwise, let's get stuffing. I'm going to start off with my grey binder, and I'm going to do the pink one last, because the pink, no, so the pink I'm going to do last, the blue, whatever one, no, it is, sorry, it is the pink. The pink is the one I'm going to do last because that has some more challenges in it, and I really want to chuck as much money into those as I can. So the other ones just get kind of a small amount. So I've already spent my $200. I'm just going to put that in there so I can add up what I spent for the month. My husband's going away for work travel. Oh, there is a couple of coins in there. He's only got $20 left. There was 130, so he spent 110 filling up the car with petrol. And he is going to get another 70. And that's his $200 for that work trip. He does that every month. Tickets and fun. I've only got $10 in here at the moment. I'm going to put in, what am I going to put in? Another 10, so that'll give me 20. We have nothing that we want to do this week. I said to my son, my daughter's out at a birthday party. I said to my son, oh, do you want to go to the movies with me tonight? And he goes, no, I'm actually really tired. So I'm like, okay, fair, cool. So the kids got their $10. Petrol's getting nothing because my husband's already filled up the car. And I skipped ahead when I didn't realise that my storage was full and this wasn't recording. And I took out $15 from the garden and put in 150. So 135 I've put in today. And I think that will be enough for the chickens. You know, like all the chicken related things that I'm going to need to do over the next week in order to have a, you know, a good safe home for the rescue chickens we're about to get. School fees. That's going to get just a little bit more today. Let's see what I've got in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in there. I'm going to give 150 today. So that's $8.50 towards school fees. And then giving is going to get 10. Okay, done, done, done. Now blue is next. So this is my emergency fund. I keep forgetting what that money's for, and then I look at it, I'm like, oh, what's that money poking out there for? So the doctor, this entire binder, oh, here's another coin. That's from a trip to the chemist that we took. So this is getting 10. Let's just see how much we've got. 130. So let's get rid of those and put in 100. And then we've got 140. If you've watched my other video about all the things that went wrong last month, you'll know that I hurt my knee and I needed x-rays and what have you. I meant to go back to the specialist, but the appointment keeps getting cancelled. So when I go there, that will be $50, I think. Part of it is covered by ACC, so it's not a full payment. Yeah, it could be 100, I don't know. It won't be too much though. The optometrist is getting 10. This will go before the end of the year though, because I need to make an appointment to get my eyes tested, and I think I will need new glasses. Bikes is also going to get 10. And the hygienist is getting 10 too. See, it's really easy. This binder is easy because the reason why I'm just doing 10 for these is because all of these binders have enough for the job that they're intended to do. So there's enough for a hygienist visit in that one. There's enough for a vet visit, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just, you know, I'm topping it up. I'm not really filling it up, if that makes sense. So I'll put in 10. So if I can just put in $5 or $10 every week, in theory, this will always have enough money. It'll always be building up. I will stop if it gets to kind of double what I need, then I would just stop filling it completely. But we're still a ways off that. Awesome. So good work. Oops. It's not staying up because I've got my change jar over here. So how much have I got left for my pink binder? 1, 2. 3. So 320. That's all right, isn't it? Could be worse. So first of all, I need to do this, don't I? Give me two seconds. I just need to grab a pen. There we go. Got the pencil. So now I've got $2.50 to add to that, and I had, so that'll be 80 cents and $2 I can cross off. Okay, so let's have a look. I've got 8, 9, 10, 15, 19, 22 on that one. And did I say 30 or 35 on this one? 6, 10, 15, 16, 18, 21, 25, 30. So I need to put in $52. I don't have 52, so I'm going to put in 55. And now I can, without any guilt whatsoever, organise my chickens. It's so weird. I don't know, does anyone else get that? You know, like, if, you know, like you save hard, like Dave Ramsey would say, gazelle intense. Like we did that for so many years, and then we kind of kicked back and relaxed a wee bit, and then we've kind of been doing it again for another year and a half as we aim for this audacious goal of early retirement. And so we're just very focused, you know, we just do one thing, we're like head down, go for it, go, go, go. That when you take a moment just to go, actually, you know, there is a bit of fat in our system that we can afford to do some of the nice things that we want to do. You know, and if I want to get chickens, it doesn't have to make like 100% financial sense. It can be chickens because they're good for my garden, they're part of my permaculture plan, I enjoy looking after them. It's great to have a supply of eggs that does, you know, isn't reliant on the supermarket. All those things can come into it. It doesn't just have to be, will you get $500 worth of eggs? Well, not for a long time, right? So it's not a money decision, it's a lifestyle decision, that one. And yeah, I can't say that it makes money sense at all to have chickens, but it makes sense on lots of other levels. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of, and being able to use challenge money to do that is awesome. So I've got 120. I'm going to put in another 100, so that's 220. Oh, maybe I should make that a 50. There we go. So I've put in, so I've got 250, that would be 130 this week into the emergency fund. That's not too bad actually. So I've been going 3 weeks and I've got 250 towards my emergency fund. I'm happy with that. This pile here feels pretty skinny now though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 135. Oh, that might have been the wrong decision. Let's wait and see. So what are we into now? The pink folder. So I'm also doing a wee challenge for the dentist. That's quite fun. I enjoy that. I didn't colour in anything last week. And it's not very pretty. Lots of cash stuffers who do very beautiful challenges. I'm probably not one of them. Well, I'm not probably not one of them. I'm not one of them. I'm just doing a challenge, something that works for me, that is helping me to save. And today I'm going to do $25 into my dentist. So that gives me $60.75. Okie doke, Christmas. Also another challenge that I'm working on. I actually have a few Christmas presents. I've bought a couple online, but they're only $2, so I haven't included them here. Just didn't seem worth it. So there I've got 110. So let's do 40. So I'll get this, actually let me get a 35 off. And then a 5. So each week, to make this work, I need to be knocking 2 of those off. I can't just cross off one. Birthday. This one I'll have to leave out because I haven't got the right pen with me, have I? 45, that's right, isn't it? So 45. And let's have a look. So maybe I can do 25 today. So that would be a 23 and a 2. Again, to make this one work, I have to knock off 2 every week. I'll get there. Are you guys doing any challenges? I'm pretty determined to, finish the year on a good note. So last time I talked about what I'm doing to make extra money. To help make this happen. So I had my wages. I worked one day on the weekend, which boosts my wage, and I had put some stuff on Trade Me. Nothing sold except for the one thing that I put down as $1 reserve, and that sold for $1. So there you go. I was $1 better off than I was the week before just from wages. So what else can I do to earn more money? So there's 2 things you can do. You can earn more money or you can save more money. I feel like to keep our life ticking along, there's not much less we can spend because we are pretty careful for the most part. Yes, I could say, okay, I'm not doing anything with the chickens. All up, it's probably going to cost about $500. I could do that, but that's something that's going to give me especially, a whole heap of happiness. So I don't want to say no to that when I can kind of have my cake and eat it too. So I'm happy to do the hard mahi and look around and think, where can I save $1, where can I make $1, so that we can keep enjoying things just through this very tight period. It's not going to last forever. We're in this situation because we've exhausted our emergency fund and we need to top it up. It's $10,000 we need. So we're having to work a bit more in order to do that. So I thought I don't know if I'll be able to get it done in a week or whether or not it's going to take me a couple of weeks, but I thought I need to phone around. Our house insurance is coming up for renewal and I need to phone around and make sure I'm getting the very best deal that I can, so that if there's some money to be saved there, I'm saving it. So that's my job for this next week. And then after that, I'll probably go into the other utility bills. But for this week, I'm going to check out my insurance companies and see which one is the best deal and if I'm still on the best deal. So join in if you want to try and save a little bit of money this week. Feel free to let me know in the comments below how you get on. So dog food, I'm going to put in $5, but I've got 15 there, so I'm just going to take 20. So I'm up to 60 now. So that's actually enough for dog food. That will do another big bag of biscuits and another thing of raw meat. So I can actually take that out and put it in my blue folder. I only put $5 in it this week. But as long as I just keep topping that up with $5 or $10, there's always going to be heaps of money. So I don't need to worry, that's done for now. This pink folder is more like I'm working on it folder. You're not done yet. So dog groom, the dog just recently had a groom, so I'm rebuilding this again. It needs $90 and it's got 10. Tech is just getting 5. Clothes, that's got 15 there. Well, it's actually got 65, but for the purposes of this, I was going to give it 5. So I'll pop in the 20 there. So that's 5 today, that's 70. Shoes is also going to just get 5. So that's 35. Funerals. Now these two here I'm actually going to take out. I started the funeral envelope because we went to, I think it's 3 funerals already this year, and they were they felt unexpected, but then I thought, oh, well, you know, family, friends and uncles and aunties and parents are just getting to that age where this is going to become more of a reality, so we need to make sure we have some money set aside to, you know, book a quick flight, to send some food, you know, whatever we're going to do, we need a bit of money aside for it. But that was before I started my emergency fund challenge. So I'm actually going to take this out and I'm going to ditch the envelope, and I will consider that part of the emergency fund. So if we had to go to a funeral, we would be using this emergency fund to help kind of soften the blow. You know, if it was all of us having to go, then that wouldn't cover it, but we would have our main emergency fund. But if it's just one person, that would cover it, you know, it just gives us a little bit of a buffer. So there's $20 here, and I'm going to add that in there. And then finally I've got our car rego and warrant. This felt like an emergency this year because I hadn't really organised it well enough. It shouldn't be an emergency though, because I know we're going to need to service, warrant, register our car, and I need to be prepared to pay for some stuff related to that, as in when they find something that's not 100%. That's okay. I hadn't really banked on that this year. I'd saved all the other money. I'd saved just, I think it was a bit over $500, but I needed another $500 for a repair, which I hadn't banked on. So now that I know that that's likely to happen, I'd kind of forgotten, because we haven't driven a car for such a long time. I forgot how blimmin' expensive they are. So there's $20 there, and I'm going to add that there, so that's $45. And for this one here, I will be aiming for $1,000. And grading, I'm getting rid of that one because that's not part of what we're doing at the moment. And that's all my money spent. Oh, I don't know about you guys. I am enjoying doing the weekly budgeting. So much easier not having to think. You know, I started off the beginning of the year thinking I'm going to do a quarterly budget. Well, that was a nightmare, and I felt that that put me behind for ages. I just couldn't get on top of things. So that was an experiment that I won't repeat. You know, I tried it out, I didn't like it, I won't do it again. When we lived in the UK, we got paid monthly, and that kind of felt hard. You know, the first 2 weeks you feel quite rich. The third week, a bit tight. The fourth week felt completely skint and hated it. So, you know, monthly budgeting was a bit hard for us as well. In New Zealand, we get paid generally every fortnight, and my pay and my husband's pay are kind of on opposite weeks. So every week we have a wage coming in. Yeah, that's, you know, fortnightly budgeting is all right as well, but doing weekly is the bomb. I love it because I can just go, what is it we need? You know, I can say to my son, do you want to go to the movies? If he said yes, then I'll go, okay, I know I need $30 in that fund so we can get our movie tickets. Easy peasy. We can just do it. Whereas at the moment, if I was doing it further, like with a bigger amount of time in between, I'd have to be thinking, might we go to the movies? I'll put in $50 so we can all go. but then we don't go, and then that money could have been used in a different envelope, if that makes sense. I mean, probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and once I'm a bit more on top of everything, it will get easier and you can stretch it out. I think the other thing you can do when you get a bit more on top of things is have less envelopes. You know, instead of having optometrist, doctor, hygienist, dentist, I could have one envelope with health. You know, that would make things a lot easier. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm not far away. I think 2026 is going to be an awesome year for us. We are on track with our plans, our big plans that we've made. We haven't derailed them. Having an emergency fund has helped us stay on track, because when things have gone awry, we were able to draw from that emergency fund rather than from our weekly money, which has enabled us to, you know, invest as much as we possibly can for the majority of this year. So I'm grateful for that. That's it for me though today. I look forward to catching you guys next time. And yeah, giving you a chicken update, hopefully. All things going well. So take care, and you know, keep going with your budget, even though it's super hard at times. You'll feel like a winner, and you'll have so much stress relieved when you have a budget that you stick to, and you know, that unexpected cost comes up and you're like, oh look, I've got a sinking fund ready for my car repair, or oh, you know, something comes up, oh look, we know this birthday's coming up, oh look, we've got $50 to buy a gift. I hope you guys are getting a sense of peace from your budgeting like I am. So take care, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.